Hello, guys, and welcome to Square One's Week 5 stream. I am your host, Byron Villa, and joining me today is Blade of Souls. Blade, how you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. What about you?
I am doing very well. I am very, very excited for the matchups we currently have on stream. The first match you guys will be seeing at 9 o'clock European, 7 o'clock European time, never mind, I can't read, is Omega Team versus Team Alpha, Battle of the Greek Letters. So this
Yeah.
matchup, you're looking at the table and you're looking at kind of like a low middle table kind of battle. What do you really expect coming out of this matchup?
Well, first of all, I think there's a pretty high chance that Team Alpha is gonna take this home. If only by the height, because they're like Diamond 4, pretty much everyone are like Platinum 3. They are a lot higher elo than opposed to the other team, which is Omega Team. Their roster is about gold, silver with a plat sprinkled in here and there. So with Elo, the other team is already ahead. But then if you look at the champions that they play, they fit the meta a lot better. If you look at the AD carry, which is Noah, is going to be the AD carry for Team Alpha. The Vayne is a lot played by him with a 55% win rate. His KDA is not great, but it's not bad as well. Tristana, 63% win rate with a KDA of 3, which both champions are now meta now that the crit changes have been put through. Then if we go to the mid laner, he plays Cassiopeia, Zoe, Kennen, Oriana, Alessandra. All those meta picks that we see a lot of now in the LCS, LEC, and LCK. Even the jungler, even with some off-meta picks, we see a Zac come through here, a Trundle, a Kha'Zix, something that you don't see as often. Well, if we look at the other side, on the side of Team Omega, we see that the laners do take the early picks, but don't have the highest proficiency on them as you would like or would expect. So I think this might get close. I think there is still a chance for Omega Team to have the upset. However, I still think that there's a pretty high chance that Team Alpha will take this home.
Yeah, and it's been kind of known right now, Team Alpha very much being a stat check team. If you're better than them, you'll beat them, but if you're lower than them in the standings, you are going to struggle versus Team Alpha. They've been very solid in their performance.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been overreaching their area, but they have held their position solidly and as a very, very, very solid middle of the pack team. Omega Team really want to make something happen, though. They are at 2-6. They are at that 9th place tied, and you got to feel for them. They really need to start getting themselves up the rankings here if they really want to get a shot at playoffs. And now is the time to get that boost, get that motivation going. But that will be the game that me and Blade will be casting, so we will go more in depth into that one later on. But coming to you at 8 o'clock European time is Lao Gan Ma versus Glorious Gaming. This is a top of the table clash, and I am so excited to watch this one. These two teams incredibly dominant of how they've played. Blade, give me a little rundown of these guys.
So yeah, we all know what's gonna happen here. So we know that Lao Gan Ma is one of the best teams in our league, pretty much. They have a Grandmaster player and Ralston, which will be playing the top side. They have Sujin, which we all know and love. You saw his performance. Just makes me just all giddy thinking about it. Like, this team knows what they're doing. It's not even close. I'm pretty sure they are first in our tournament right now. I have to actually confirm that real quick. But every time I've seen them on camera, there was at least one or two explosive plays, if not that they just steamrolled over their opponents. So they're actually second in the league right now. They are 6-2. The only team that's first is Glorious Gaming, who has one loss on their record. And yeah, I just love seeing them play. That's all I can say about it. They are so fun to watch, and I'm so happy to see them play today.
Yeah, and you've got to take into account Lao Gan Ma, great team to watch, super fun. Going up against Glorious Gaming though, 7-1.
Yeah, the first place.
They are the leaders, and whilst Lao Gan Ma looks really, really good and really fun to watch, can they take down the current leaders of SQ1?
I think they can. I'm gonna say that now. I think Lao Gan Ma has been showing up lately a ton. They have been improving through this league. I have seen the plays that they made. It wasn't always easy for them. We have seen the few upsets that they had against them be able to come around. Even though they would have been behind in the early game, they were able to turn that around because they work so well as a team. And even though Ilolas Gaming does that as well, I think that the cooperation between those teams is a little bit less on the side of Ilolas Gaming. So I predict that Lao Gan Ma will actually have a shot of winning that game and tie for first place.
Yeah. And quick shout out, we will be having a separate stream going on for the third game. We'll be having Omega Team versus Prototype, I believe. And I think the stream will be hosting that, so you might not need to go anywhere. If not, we'll get a link to you guys.
Mhm.
But that, whilst conversely, we have a top of the table clash that we're super excited for, incredibly close levels. You also have that now in the third game, which would be OG versus PRT, because both those teams, they're sat at the bottom of the table. They need to make something happen, and that is the exact kind of game they really, really, really need to win
Oh
against
yeah.
those bottom of the tables. Now, that'll be a quick rundown from us. Thank you guys for coming along and watching this small little pre-talk we've had going. We'll see you guys in around about 10 minutes to start the cast.
Bye bye.
Hello, guys, and welcome back. We have our first game on the table. We have Omega Team versus Team Alpha. Joining me again, like in the pre-show, is Blade of Souls. He's already talked about how excited he is for this matchup. Let's talk a little bit more about Noah because that man, he's a pretty damn good player.
Oh yeah, I agree.
My biggest question is, sure, Noah's really good, but he's very good when he has that lead. When he's in those mid to late game team fights, he is insane. But he has to get that lead first. And my question is, can they do it against Omega Team? Can they outclass that bot lane? Are you expecting that? Are you expecting to see that?
I actually am. Yeah. The the bot lane of the opposing team it's okay. I mean, they have the platinum support in Lucio, who has been playing a ton of Morgana, Karma, and Lux. Even his Pike is very scary. You have to really watch out for that Pike. His KD on that is actually just bananas. If he gets the Pike and they put Noah on something like a late game AD carry, something like a Vayne, something like maybe a Kai'Sa, then yeah, you have to watch out because Noah can actually maybe get in a little bit of trouble if you don't counter pick against it or ban the pick away. However, if it's a scaling lane where, for example, Noah takes the Vayne and their support takes something like a Morgana or a Thresh, and the opponent takes, for example, I'm just going to say Tristana and Galio, then yes, you do have that chance. Galio and Tristana have that little bit earlier pickup where they have more windows to work with, especially against the Vayne that as soon as she is caught into the taunt from Galio, will not escape with her life.
Yeah, it's a very, very big pick, and catching that Vayne can mean the end of a team fight. But the solo laners of Team Alpha are very much solid players. You have James, he loves the Lissandra pick, that man, and you got Packer in the top lane. They're both very, very hard to really crack, and that's what makes Team Alpha so scary. You have Noah, who will be ready on a late game scaling ADC, and then you have the solid solo lanes kind of keeping their position. Do you see any of those solo lanes really falling behind?
Yeah, for sure. So the one thing that I'm most scared of is on the mid, because the mid laner, I'm just gonna go on CI because I'm not gonna butcher that name. That mid laner is gonna be behind. The mid that he has played, from what I can see, has not been so meta, or at least not as good in the meta as we see it right now. To where if we check James' picks, as I said in the pre-show, we have Cassiopeia, Zoe, Ken, Orianna, Lissandra. Those are his top 5 picks, and all those picks work amazingly in team fights. You can use the ball from Orianna to get out a huge ultimate. Lissandra is always good for roaming, locking people down, making sure that carry cannot move. Cassiopeia is just a late game monster, and Zoe is great in something like a poking comp. And don't get me started on a Ken alt with the Baron buff. And as you said, he's great on Alessandra, and everyone that is good at Alessandra is a-okay in my book. So that's why I expected it to be locked away here. Lissandra is such a strong champion, especially when your team knows how to work around it, or either is scared to go up against it because she can just go in and lock you down for further 5 seconds and get back out. And of course, we see the Vayne ban from the side of OG because, I mean, they do not want to give it to Noah. You don't give that man a Vayne, and because it instantly spells doom at the end. The Zac is a little bit surprising on one side, but if you know that Penny's Pineapple has been playing it a ton, and its win ratio is on 63% with a 5.2 KDA, then I can see why they would think to ban that away, because it is a champ that can heavily impact the team fight.
Yeah, and that the central does get took away by the side that James is on, but I quite like that because I feel like the plan from Omega Team could have been to just first pick out Lissandra, not only take it away from James, but James isn't an incredibly oppressive laner a lot of the time.
Nope.
I mean, he's very good, but the problem is if you let Lissandra just kind of sit there and let her get those runs, it can be incredibly scary. He could have busted out the Zoe or something into it, but they decided to just take it off the board. Zac and Sejuani both away from Pineys, and then it's Carthus and the Xin Big jungle focus in these bands as we head towards the first pick.
I hope we just get to see a Nuno or something like a Kha'Zix, because those are actually quite good right now, and he has a good amount of KDA on it. I will be surprised if we see the Pico Timo. I will expect this to be a troll hover. However, I do want to get back to the Lissandra ban on the other side. I actually think this is a ban to make sure they don't use it against Noah. because I do know that Noah is one of those used carry players, and Lissandra can just break a carry player in two because of the amount of CC that he can provide. And that's just my guess. I guess that's why they would ban it, because I don't see OG taking it first pick.
Yeah, and I like the Morgana. If Raston's going to play something that's going to try and go in, if you're going to try and protect a big dive,
Mhm.
Morgana's going to be that safer. But it's so flexible as a pickup that it's hard to really read exactly what Omega Team are going to want to do just from that first pick. On the other side, I really like a cannon pick. It's very good into a hell of a lot of matchups. And, I mean, James plays it. So it is even a quote unquote flex. I'm not expecting it to go into the mid lane, but it is a possibility if they really want to, as the Alistair gets locked in, which is a very, very nice pickup into the Morgana.
I mean, from what we've seen from the LEC and LCS, we do know that Jace is a popular pick on the cannon. I don't think we have seen Koaz on it ever in this split. I'm pretty sure that he hasn't ever played it, and from what I can see, he doesn't have any practice on it as well. But it might be a pick that he can just whip out, because Cannon is an annoying pick in the top lane because he will just poke, and he will push you out of lane slowly but surely. Anything that's close combat, he will poke down, and he can get away very easily from ganks without burning his flash. He has an ulti that can save him so many times or be used as an engage tool. And I hope that Koas might take something ranged, because otherwise it might be a little bit of a problem in the laning phase, and I can see P.E.K.K.A actually just running over him. Ooh, so no.
Yeah, that from
Oh,
what I know, the Sion Kennen matchup, it is a very Kennen favored one. But
yeah.
we have talked about the top lane. Let's move it down to the bot lane, because Lucian Morgana, that is an aggressive lane, and that's what I'd like to see. Shutting down Noah in the early game before he gets those big scaling champions getting to the mid to late game. If you're able to shut down that lane, if you're able to get yourself a lead, and if you look to have priority around that bot side, it could look very good, but there's a Tristana, and getting on the Tristana, that's a
Well,
difficult one.
there goes the aggressive plan. I mean, you can go aggressive, but not against something like an LSR Tristana. Like every poke you will do, LSR will use his passive to heal it a little bit back up. Tristana will have the little bit superior wave clear with the bombs, and if you let that turret just a little bit alone for too long, that turret will just explode in a lot of value with the turret shields going over to Tristana and Alistar. So now the Vladimir ban. Uh, why? It's a good pick. It's still it's not meta, but it's very good counter pick against a lot of stuff. It can impact the team fight heavily, and I can see to a certain degree with what they've taken right now why they would ban it away. Because if there's a big team fight and Cannon uses his ulti, he can easily dodge out of the ulti. We could have actually seen a Sion mid here and a Vladimir top. So whenever Cannon tries to do something, he would just go in his blood pool and he would run away or go away if whatever. However, I doubt it. I think this is just to be sure. And the Cassiopeia ban is, of course, sent to James because, as I said before, James has a very nice win ratio on this champion and a very high KDA. Plus, it's just late game nightmare.
Yeah, it certainly is a lot of mid focus now in the bands of Vladimir. I mean, arguably the top one, but Oriana, Cassiopeia, these big AP mages being took off the board now. Don't want to have either Quetzia or James on one of those big guys, making sure they're off them. And Oriana synergizes very well with the current team composition that OG have, so they have to be very careful about that. The Nunu that you were hoping to see, unfortunately, does get took away, though. Oh.
I don't mind that the news get taken away because I have a theory here that the mid on the side of Alpha Gaming has already been picked because of the amount of bans that they are throwing to the mid's way. I think this might be a Cannon mid. And I think either the Jax is top or the Jax is jungle. The reason why I think this is Cannon mid, they wouldn't have to put as much priority on banning out the mid lane if they hadn't taken it yet. Normally, they would, if this would have been Cannon top, they would try to work maybe a little bit more on the jungle side, so they could make bad matchups for Cannon go out of the way, something they can easily dash and lock him down. And that is not it. So I'm gonna think that this is a Cannon AP Cannon mid instead of the Cannon Sion match that we first thought in the top lane.
Yeah, I like this intro pick, just knowing that you can have that domination in mid lane. But one thing to keep in mind, that Jackson still go jungle. What I would really like to see is they know how the Syndra is going to be mid, they know the Sion's going to be top.
Mm-hmm.
You could still take Jack's jungle right now, and then opt for a mid laner that can punish Syndra.
Oh, Jarvan.
Yeah, Jarvan in the jungle, they're going to really, really aggressive. And I think that's what they're looking for. They have Sion, Jarvan, big aggressive engages. Then you have Syndra, Lucian, very oppressive champions in their lane. But the
Bad,
the
yes.
Z gets locked in here.
This is so sick. So the Z is a pick that actually got buffed in patch 9.4. Yeah, 9.4. Z, his early game got a lot buffed. His early game damage is a lot better. His scaling is a lot better. But however, his late game is actually gotten worse because of these changes. So if he gets level 6 before Syndra does, he can easily get a kill on something like Lucian because the damage will just pour out. He can easily combat Syndra because Syndra actually has to have perfect timing with that stun push away from the orb to stun him under turret if he tries to dive. And that's something that's very hard to do. The only thing that you do know is that Zed, when he uses his ulti, will always land behind you. So if you know that, you can maybe work around it. But a good player like James, which I expect him to do, will know that maybe Saya will work around that and will try to do something against it. Also, a very good pick against the Jarvan, because if Jarvan uses his Cataclysm or wants to try something, you can just shadow out. Same with the Cannon. Cannon can just turn on his own ulti, and it won't be Cannon being trapped in the Cataclysm, but it will be you being trapped with Cannon, because that Tempest will do idiotic amounts of damage. Tristana will just jump out, and Jax can jump over a ward. So I think the Jarvan pick might be a little bit problematic. I do get why they chose it, but so many members on the other side can just jump away or can just go out or actually turn the fight around because you put a Cataclysm down.
The funny thing is, I look at OG's comp in isolation, and I think that is really, really good composition.
Oh yeah,
You've got,
for
you've
sure.
got priority bot, priority mid. You can afford to have a Sion in the top lane and have that big scaling carry, and then Jarvan to gank those mid bot lanes is huge. The problem is that you look at Team Alpha's comp, and they counter a lot of what they have. The
Yeah.
big thing to look at for me, if you want to see OG win this game for you OG fans, Lucian Morgana, level 2 spike, get that before the Tristana Alistar and go in. That all in is incredibly scary, and Alistar without level 2 is so easy to kill because he has no range whatsoever. He'll probably only have his Q or his W, one of the two, and you can punish him incredibly. The problem is, as soon as the level 2 gets hit, Tristana's probably going to take a jump to make sure she's safe. Alistar will have the Pulverize, and that's when things become a little bit more difficult. And the longer the lane goes on, the harder it will be for Lucian and Morgana to make aggressive plays happen. So you'll want to look for Jarvan to just straight up do your buff, go down bot, get the level 2 spike, engage, get a kill. That is the blueprint, in my opinion, for OG to start winning.
Yeah, you don't want to get that the bot lane snowballing, because that will be a huge problem if like Noah gets out on Tristana. We all have felt the pain of a fed Tristana in our games. Like, to be honest, that's not something you want to deal with unless you have hardcore CC, something like a Leona, something like a Nautilus, something that can just continuously keep her out of the fight. And I agree. If you look at the side of OG, that thing actually look pretty good. You have so much engaged potential. You have a lot of follow-up. You have a lot of AoE with like the Morgana ultimate, the Syndra ultimate, and even just with her Qs that can do AoE damage. However, the other side just works fully against it. And because there's such a high difference on the side of OG and Alpha in terms of elo and experience with working together, I just can't see that because they crafted this comp, Alpha will just work better against it. Normally, when you would just see these two comps out of their own, I would actually have favored OG's comp because of the way the team comp can work and because of the amount of follow-up and CC chaining you can do. However, this might just be a difference in experience that we're going to see here if Alpha wins this.
Yeah, it certainly will be. As a spectator, delay ticks down. Let us introduce the teams. So on OG's side, we have Chaos on Sion in the top lane, Matt 9418 Revenge on Jarvan in the jungle, and the client's is gone. It's zoomed past me. Let me just quickly get the roster up on the other screen. They have. I got betrayed by the client. That was a very bad time to do that. Let's quickly. Right. Anyways, Omega team. As I was saying, we have Kuetzia on Syndra in the mid lane. ADC will be Rassen on the Lucian, and then Morgana will be Lucio's pick in support. Do you want to take us through the next team?
Oh, sure. So we have Pekka on the Cannon, Pineapple on the Jax, James on the Zed, Noah on the Tristana, and Archie on the Alistar.
At least your client didn't betray you like mine.
And
Oh my goodness.
because of this new client, we can actually see the mastery points. So I do want to note that Saya has 15,000 points on Syndra, which is okay. And then you have James with 77,584 points on the Z. Z is favored in this matchup, not close. Like,
But
not even just because of the players, but just because of the playstyles that they can bring. Zed can just farm easily till like 6 and then just go full ham and roam a lot better than something like Syndra can. Plus, Syndra is a lot more gankable. Yes, she has the stun, but as soon as she uses it, she is like vulnerable for 8 to 9 seconds. And then just Jack can easily come and stun her if her flash is down and she will die.
and you're talking about mastery points here. You're talking about the mid lane. Did you see Rassen's mastery points? Because I saw
Yes.
713k mastery points on the Lucian. This guy
I-
plays a lot of Lucian.
Oh, yeah. However, we cannot. We have to check Noah because Noah. When I check Noah, Noah had around 120,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good amount, but yeah, Rassen plays a lot of Lucian, and I can expect it because I will just go into this because we're on a break. Lucian is such a meta pick. He's so good in the early game, even though the nerfs came in for him to make him a little bit weaker. He is still such a strong early game pick and something that can snowball hard. And if it's snowballing, it's very hard without proper lockdown or proper counter damage to get him out of the fight. And that's where I think Team Alpha is going to shine here because they have that Zed, because they have that cannon and the Jax. They can actually jump on him. If he dashes, Jax will just stomp on him. If he does anything, James will just fly with his shadows and he will be able to kill him if Lucio won't be able to react as quickly as possible. Even Archie can lock him down with the headbutt pulverize and let Dristana just be trigger happy with that dragon. Yeah, this might be a little bit of a problem.
Well, okay, let's put yourselves in Team Omega's shoes, right? So we're looking at what they have right now. They have a fairly good comp in isolation, but like you said,
Yeah.
the other comp does do a lot of bad things to them. But they still need to win this game, right? And they still believe in their draft. They believe that what they have is right.
I agree.
So, Wade, I'm going to hand this to you. How do you see OG coming out with this win? Because it can't be that one-sided just in the draft. There is a way for them to win this game, but how do you see it happening? What can you see the vision? Can you see that happening? Like, and where are we looking?
I can summarize that in one word: scaling. I think the side of OG scales a lot better, and that's purely because of the sign pick and the Syndra pick. So, yes, Zed can one-shot. Zed can do a lot of damage. However, Zed gets pretty weak in the late game. It will be something like a talent. If a talent is not fed, he will be able maybe to assassinate someone, but you can't build against it. Like, Syndra is such a strong late game pick. One Qver can probably break Noah if he doesn't go for something like Maw of Mortius if she gets too strong. The whole side of OG has such strong laning potential. The Scion, we all know, it's just one huge meat shield at the middle at the end of the game. The Syndra, as I said, will scale. The Lucian can play safe-ish, and because of the black shield that they have from the Morgana on Lucio, he can actually keep the Lucian safe. Bot is going to be such a hard lane to gank because of the amount of CC denial they have. Lucian dash, Morgana shield, and I want Matt to play around the bot side because if you bot or mid, one of the two, and I think mid might also not be a bad pick because you want that Syndra to get ahead. Because if Syndra gets ahead, she will very early get her hourglass, and Zed will do a lot of less damage against her. And on the bot side, if you get Rassen ahead, Rassen can start roaming, can start going to the top line and actually contest this cannon. And he can easily dash out of the slicing maelstrom from the cannon when he tries to re-engage or tries to go for a big play. So that's the way I think OG will actually win this. And we're on another break.
Okay, so
where's the elevator music?
Yeah, we have more pausing. I'm gonna use this time to quickly tell you guys that because I also play in a league. I'm not incredibly high ranked, but I have a little league of my own. I played against Zed yesterday. Big like we were said, someone picked it blind surprisingly. So I picked the Zillion matchup.
Ooh, that's good.
As soon as I rushed Seeker's Guard, soon as I got that item, he couldn't do anything to me.
Nope.
There was a point where he all in me in River, and I used 2 bombs, and I came out ahead in the trade.
Yeah.
And that's how big this Zhonya's pick, or at least the Seeker's Arm Guard, is for the Syndra. As soon as he gets that pick, it becomes a lot harder for James to get all the damage off. And if Syndra can use the stun well, can get her damage down, and gets to that point, it's going to become very, very difficult for James. He needs to really get Snowball going, ideally, so he can get himself to the point where people like Rassen really, really need to be careful in these team fights.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if Sia or Revenge would go for the Ninja Tabis. On the side of Alpha, we see that there's a huge amount of AD and continuous attacking. We know that Jax will go attack speed. We know that Noah will, of course, go attack speed because it's AD carry. Will remove a lot of that damage that can maybe break through. And then if you just have the Seeker's Arm Guard, it will be a huge boon for Saya to actually survive some of these skirmishes or maybe some of these ganks. Now that I think about it, and this is a pick I have actually been a fan of for a little while now, I might have switched to Jarvan for something like a Pantheon, because Pantheon has that jump stun, the point and click stun, where Jarvan actually needs to hit it and it's possible to jump away from or get away from. But you can cancel like a Trist jump with the stun from Pantheon. You can stun Cannon if you reach him, and he cannot get away as fast as he would with something like the Jarvan, because he can just run away very fast with the Jarvan. But if you stun him, it will also be cancelled and he will be stuck in place for a little follow-up damage. It's also a pick that's really good in the early game because of your damage denial passive, which means he can easily gank Noah if they're pushed in and actually get a return kill for something like Lucian, because if something is stunned against the Lucian, it will just do so much damage.
I will say one thing to look at too, the first dragon is the Infernal, so bottom mid side priority are going to be huge. These early games are going to be pivotal for deciding this matchup, because not only are you now getting yourself a lead, that lane priority could mean the difference between an Infernal Dragon.
Oh,
and
yeah.
An Infernal Dragon will be big for both of these teams.
I still think that it's about. We see here Revenge going to the bot side. He might actually look for a play here, and this is what we talked about. If Team Alpha just overextends a little bit, he's going in.
Oh, binding hits! It connects level 2 on the Jarvan. He's looking for the flag drag. He gets in the first blood. Goes over to Rassen. There's the gank straight bot lane, and he gets the kill. Lucian already has a kill. There's the lead. There's the bot side priority. And that's just starting of shutting down Noah, if that's what they're going for.
And this is what I like to see. This is also what we talked about. Revenge going bot side as fast as he could. He took the buff, he went bot. And also what I want to point out here, Lucio hit a beautiful dark binding between the minions there to make sure that Noah was locked down. They didn't have the level 2 difference, but that didn't matter because their jungler was level 2 and easily went bot side. And I just think this was a beautiful play and well done by OG.
Yeah, it was well played by them. I was expecting to get level 2 and then have the gank, but
yeah,
I quite like what they did here. And Noah's still level 1. He's kind of stuck outside the wave, and they can harass him now.
Oh, there goes some harass. Yeah, Noah will be very behind if they stay in lane, and if the laning phase continues like this, he will always be half a level to like 3/4 of a level behind, and that will really hurt him because Morgana will get the black shield. She hasn't taken it yet. She has the Q and the W, as we saw, and if she gets that shield, they can just go for an all-in, and Alistar won't be able to help as much as he would like, and they can just focus the damage on Noah because Lucian does a lot more damage than Tristana at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the amount of damage, the Dark Binding with the Morgana W, and then Lucian throwing at his W too, and Noah was kind of half off. Luckily enough, they do have that Alistar, and like you were talking about, his passive helps you with that sustain a little bit. Noah's able to heal up and should be able to remain rather safe, but the control and the priority, which is incredibly important, will go over to Rassen and Lucio for the time being, which means they can start getting control around the bot river. You see 2 blue wards already there, but I say 2 blue wards, a Scuttle Crab and a blue ward.
Jax is invading.
Oh, he certainly is. Matt's actually really low. The counter-strike comes in, and Jarvan has to flash out there. But oh, here comes the jump. Rassen's been going... That's an all-in on him. The ignite goes down. The jump flashes forward. Can he get a kill? Yes, he can. Noah does not like the idea of being shut down, and he's going to get a calm response.
Beautiful play by Noah and Archie there. This is actually the opposite of what I said it would happen. I would have expected Lucio to have the priority here because of the black shield that would have been up level 3.
Oh, and Quessy has been maybe for our position here. The flash forward, but you ain't counter striking anything there, buddy. That's a flash for flash. they're going to be fairly happy with that trade, but it's unfortunate he's not going to be able to use that flash to get another big gank off.
It was a hopeful play. I think that's the best we can say about it, because we could see that Sia was actually so far behind the wall that he could still flash to get the stun off. However, Zed is not level 6 yet. And this is where Sia has to be careful, because Zed has a lot of priority on the mid lane. The stun is out now. She's half health. If Zed gets level 6 before Sia does, he will be able to instantly kill her, because it also has the ignite and flash still up. So a turret dive is very likely.
Yeah, he's around about 2/3 of the way to the level 6 now, and a big thing to look at with these level 6 all-ins, and really looking to soften each other up so they can get that big level 6 all-in. It's the same for Syndra and Zed. They both fight their level 6, and now you see that Syndra going incredibly low. But James may overstay his welcome, because Matt does not like the idea of him staying alive. The Flag and Drag comes through. He gets stunned up at level 6 onto Quetzaya. He gets ignited. The flash out from James, and James gets a kill and gets out. What a play from him outplaying that gank.
And this is what we predicted. As soon as James gets level 6, he will have the priority there and will able to be doing so much. And I think bot will actually start going into the favor of OG now, even though we know that Noah got the kill. Archie is so low, and even though he has stacks on the support item, it will still be a little while before he will be fully healed up. Oh, and never mind. He popped the 2 potions and he's good.
Yes, he is. We're going to see the junglers now behind his pineapple. Thanks to that gank that went well, they're going to be able to start taking control of the kind of area around this Inferno Dragon. And like we said at the start of the game, it's very important to see who's going to be able to get control of it. So my eyes are just glued around the side of the map. Top lane, Paka has got a really good lead for himself, though. Thanks to both the Klepto and the fact that he's up around about 14 CS, he is sitting on a very nice 600 gold lead at 6 minutes. That's 100 gold every single minute.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That gold is going to be felt on the top lane for Chaos. Pekka, because of the Captaincy, will for sure have the gold advantage. So far, we can see that he is almost, probably around 800 gold. So it's just 600 and 700 gold ahead of Coas, which doesn't mean much yet. But however, that can mean the difference in a boot upgrade, and that can mean the difference between making it out or not. And this is what you would have expected, because Pekka is able to continuously poke Chaos down. He will continuously poke him on the turret, and Chaos has a lot harder time farming. However, at some point, Pekka will go out of the lane to try and snowball other lanes, and that's where Coas shines, because he can just split push continuously. He can start to push further and further in and get back that farm difference, to where Pekka might not be able to farm as much as he would be. However, this game is a lot closer than I first thought it would be. We have seen a lot of play around bots so far. Mid has seen a bit of play, but it's still okay. We just see that Zed brings out the Zed. That's all I can say about it, because Zed's match against the Syndra is so much more favored, because he can put that early pressure down where Syndra is at her most weakest. And I just hope that Syndra, as we can now see, has built the Seeker's Arm Guard, which will help her a ton to get through those early skirmishes. And I hope to God that some people on the side of OG will go for the Ninja Tabi. Even though they might lag a little bit of damage, it will help them so much in the mid-game team fights.
Oh yeah, because bear in mind, you're not just blocking Zed's damage of that. I mean, sure, James is an AD champion. He does want to do that damage, and Ninja Tabi's helping with that. But you buy Ninja Tabi specifically for that passive that blocks some auto attacks. And Noah, in the mid to late game team fights, will be doing a hell of a lot of damage. The Ninja Stabbies help you on both sides, because not only are you kind of blocking a little bit of James's damage, but you're blocking a lot of Noah's damage if you're going to be sitting there taking a lot of auto attacks. So someone like Matt, like Chaos, really, really need these tabbies, because they are going to be the ones going in. They're likely going to be the ones taking those first few autos, and they want to kind of lower that damage threshold that they're going to be taking.
I just hope Chaos won't be fooled by the cannon, because normally when you would see cannon into Sion, you would think, oh, he will go magic resist boots, he will go for the Mercury threads. However, that is a trap here, because of the AD and the continuous AD that the side of Alpha brings. That is not something you want to go into, because yes, it will deny maybe the stun from the Jax a little bit longer, or maybe, but that's it. And the stun from Pekka, but that's it. You want to deny the damage as the tank, and the people on the opposing team that will probably do the most damage are Noah on the Tristana, are Pineapple on the Jax, especially to the mid to late game, where Jax will hit that 2-3 item advantage and will actually be able to burst down so much damage. And I don't think James would go for the Scion, maybe in a very weird side lane pick, where they maybe with 2 people. However, he will still hurt, especially because he can throw out the Shadow, and the Shurikens will be able to burst him down if he doesn't get some armor. I'm just happy that we think the same way Saya does, and he just builds the Seeker's Arm Guards as fast as possible, instead of going for something like Boots and Amplifying Tome.
Yeah, and the thing is, as a Syndra, you're very much wanting to build a Lost Chapter and try and get an item. It's very useful if you want to go aggressive in the lane, but I like that Quet's recognized, okay, I'm against a Zed. The Zed's got a kill now. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. Let's just make sure he doesn't get any more damage, because a Zed that snowballs will be a Zed that wins the game. A Zed that gets 1 kill and then kind of stops doing a lot in the early game is manageable. And that's what you really want. You want to be able to manage this Zed. You don't want to be in a point where Rastin has to be running from his life and can't position to do damage in a team fight because James exists.
No, exactly. And that's also, if you look at the botline items, we see that Noah has actually started with the attack speed boots here. And this is why I like that Rastin has started with the Berg Scepter, because of the lifesteal. He's able to trade a lot more. The damage that Noah might bring out in a random skirmish, like we saw where he got his first kill, will be a little bit on the lesser side, because he's able to just gather everything back and forth and will heal everything up. And so far, it's just both lanes are in control. Nothing really has priority yet. Only mid is just top, of course, has priority, but mid doesn't have the biggest priority yet, even though we can see that Sai is a little bit pushed in. However, it won't be long before this Inferno will get contested.
Eyes on Draven, there's been an all in the bot side. A TP comes down. Lucio has been caught out. He's going to go down. Noah just jumps out very happily. I mean, unfortunately, Packer TP is down for pretty much nothing.
But they will get the Drake.
They will get the dragon, and you see beforehand, red wards is in like the wards in the red team. Also, red wards is in the control wards. Both of those were littered around the river, not exactly on the Drake, but around those entrances. They spot out Mount when he comes in. They know exactly when to disengage, and I really, really like that, because they get the vision control. They know as soon as something goes their way, they can just turn on the dragon. Admittedly, Chaos now he's going to be going even CS. He's going to be starting to crack some platings, and he's going to be very happy about that. But the issue is they've just given over an Inferno Drake and another kill. Bot lane is now fully in Tristana's favor, and as a Lucian Morgana, that's not what you like to see.
Not only that, but did you just see the damage James was able to put out on Saya? That was just a full combo, and that per almost under half health, which is so scary as a Syndra. Even though she has Seeker's Arm Guard, he's still doing so much damage just out of that kill. He's also around 26 farm ahead, and that's why I like that Saya is building boots, because if he goes in with the shadows, she might actually be able to dodge a little bit easier, or maybe dodge a shuriken here or there, which will decrease the damage a ton in a full-on fight.
The only issue is we're building all this AP damage on this lack of AP damage. Never mind. If the flash comes out, Chaos, I think he'll be able to get out. I think you can just walk this one. Oh wait, never mind. That's not his turret, is it? Oh no!
No, that's not his turret. He flashed the wrong way.
That is unfortunate. He's just going to get knocked down, and that's going to be it. He is took down. That's a kill going over to Piney's now.
Ooh,
close. But as we were saying, the problem is you're building all this, like the boots, you're building the Seeker's Arm Guard, but you're not building a lot of damage, and that's incredibly, incredibly rough, because as a Syndra, you're looking for that big one potential. You want to get this ult down. You want to be able to delete someone in the team fight. But the problem is, oh no!
Oh, that was a full combo missed. Oh, that was a flash from.
Actually, I'm not sure what he's doing. I wasn't expecting him to go in there. He's gonna get stunned up. Just pop the ultimate. Lucio now gonna lock down James. The ultimate comes out from James trying to make something happen, but it's not going to finish. The Cataclysm gets the kill secured, and actually, Chaos has got a kill on Packer off screen.
This is amazing. This turned the whole game a little bit back on the favor of OG. They still have a way to go, but this made sure that they won't just get trampled on by the side of Alpha. And oh, wait, there's another engage.
Oh, and Quetzai, he's done. And we know the barrier comes out, the flash comes out, he's out of there. I thought he was done for the world, and he actually gets out. Madman.
Oh, Revenge is such a sweet guy. He just thinks like, I'm just help Saya to not die, you know. However, I do have to point out, again, this is on the side of...
Oh, Noah just getting chunked down, but oh my goodness, never mind, it's actually Rassen on the backside of this fight, doesn't respect the damage that Noah has, gets took down, and Lucio having to back off. Packer now looking to see if he can go all in on Chaos, the slicing Maelstrom just ticking down on him, and Chaos gonna go down, and those are 2 kills that come in very quick succession, and now Priority gonna land in bot side and top side. Oh wait, never mind, Matt's here. No, maybe stuck out of position, but the knockup comes down from Archie. I thought that was a great catch out from Jarvan, but Archie just plays it so damn well, and it doesn't matter.
And this is what we said, you don't want to get Noah fed, and he's 4-1 in 11 minutes. I was just saying that they had this maybe small window to turn things back around. However, as soon as I said that, they just burst through. It's 11 minutes. The side of which he wants to have that little bit of scaling for the Sion, for the Syndra, because the Syndra power spike will be laden due to the amount of armor that she has to build to be able to lane against James. James is also a level ahead. Pretty much every laner on the opposing side is a level ahead except for Paka. And I disagree with the play that Koos makes here. He actually tried to walk back, tried to get out. However, because he was over pushed in, there was no way he would be able to get out. There was absolutely nothing he could do. And he should just have continued to attack the turret, because his zombie form will give him that little burst of attack speed and will actually help him maybe take it down a little bit faster than they would think, and actually give them first turret gold, which would help them a little bit over the other opposing side. Ooh,
Oh, could be. Oh no, look at how much damage James just outputs in that one burst. Pioneer's Pineapple could have helped pick up the kill. Great play by them just to pick off Matt, getting a little bit greedy for that Scuttle Crab, not respecting the amount of vision control. And I want to talk about the kind of itemization from Quetzaya. We did talk about that Seeker's Ongar being a very big pickup. The problem is that she has to buy that just to lane against him, but the problem is she still can't lane because of the snowball. Oh, double knockup from Archie though. Lucio's going down very, very low. The ultimate is unable to proc, and he just jumps into the tower. Rassen gets killed. That's a 6-1 Tristana at 12 minutes. Look at the gold lead now. That's like 4.5k at 12 minutes.
Not only that, but Chaos actually fell for the cannon trap. He went to Mercury Threads and is building that magic resist, which is not something you want to do. Yes, Pekka is in a favorable position against Chaos. However, his damage is not that huge yet. Whereas Noah will be able to burst this Sion down if he doesn't build some armor and very fast. And that's just disappointing.
Oh, here goes Pioneers. He wants to pick up this gun. The counter-strike comes out, and there goes Chaos. He's going to try and use the passive. Pioneers could be going very low, but a good use of the Shuriken by Hacker just slows him down. Makes sure to think that happens. And now, actually, Matt's going to be starting up that dragon. Let's have a look. I believe that is it's an Ocean Drake. So that extra regen going to help them out trying to survive lanes. But the problem is, they're doing this dragon. What's on the other side? A Rift Tower has been popped. They're going to look for an engage. They get it onto James, but the ultimate comes out. He misses the burst. Great outplay on the Syndra, and here comes Noah. That big snowballing Tristana gets themselves a kill. Rassen now in auto attack to death. The jump in. Noah is not scared of anyone on this team.
Oh wait.
Few auto attack cancels, but does not matter. That is very, very well played, and there's the strength of a Tristana. Not only is she a fantastic late game scaler, but if she gets ahead, those jump resets are huge in these fights, so she can output so much damage so quickly. It is incredibly scary to watch.
I do want to give some credit over here to Pioneer's Pineapple. We know, as he looked to go towards top, we saw that Kappa actually went in, and Sion had to actually get the Soul Furnace out to be able to defend himself. That Soul Furnace could have made the difference between him living and killing Pioneer's Pineapple because of the amount of the damage that the turret can deal, or him dying. And because it was down, he wasn't able to deter a lot of the damage as well. And again, I think if he would have gone something like the Ninja Tabis here, he would have been able to mitigate a lot of the damage that Pineapple could bring, and actually maybe have a little bit more survivability even though his Soul Furnace was down. That could have meant that he wouldn't be able to get the kill of Pioneer's Pineapple, and they wouldn't have been able to make as many picks as they would have. However, as you said, this is an 8-1 Tristana at 15 minutes with a Infernal Drake on their side. The Syndra on the opposing side that could take down the AD carry if she was a little bit more fat or had some better items. She doesn't have it. So that means that they have no way to burst her down real quick. Yes, they have that little bit of tankiness, and the amount of team fight potential and engagement potential that they have is great. However, they have nothing to stop this Tristana as of this moment, and she can just jump in and just burst something like Lucio down, I think, even without Archie's help.
And when you heard me go like, oh no, I looked at the Tristana's items. She has an IE and a static shiv at 15 minutes into the game, and Archie can just walk into this tower and not feel threatened whatsoever. Just able to walk in there and take all the damage he wants to. Here comes Matt though, they're looking to see if they can make a play, but he has been spotted out. They can probably take this previously. That's the scary thing about it. I wouldn't be surprised for them to be able to just take that. And another thing to put your eyes towards, that gold lead is now like 8k. An 8k gold lead at 16 minutes. That is insane. That is nearly insurmountable. But here comes Matt, the flag and track. He tries to catch out Archie, but the problem is, catching out Alistair, that's not going to happen. Noah flashing in, the Cascade comes in from Matt, but it's not going to be enough. Packer using the slicing Maelstrom. Rassen does get knocked away, unfortunately. They're not able to secure that kill, but they will get their bot lane priority, and they almost certainly will get that tower, as James is now hoping to position to get some sort of all in, but he's just going to shove them right now.
Not only that, but this will also mean a free Ocean Drake to the side of Team Alpha. And yeah, this game, the opportunity to win this game, that little window that they just had, is already almost permanently shot, locked, and has a security code on it. It's so small for such a small chance for them to win back this game against Team Alpha, because I mean it's 17-4. The Tristana has that item advantage.
Oh, and Archie flashing over. Yeah, Quetzi has not. Oh my god! Woo! Once again, he cheats death with an insane flash. I thought he was good again. He's very good at surviving these gangs, I have to say. He has been in a losing matchup, and he survived fairly well. The problem is James, because he's so oppressive, has been able to get a huge CS lead for around 40.
Yes.
And with those kills he's managed to get around the map, that's kind of put Quetzire in a very awkward position, where he's trying to play safe the whole game, but James has been able to get a lot of those little advantages because of it, and now he's reaping the benefits.
And I do want to point out, Kills still does not have any armor against a team that's almost highly made out of a lot of AD champs. And this armor is actually 68. That's all he has. Nothing else. That was burstable by Tristana, no joke. She can easily, with the items that she has, break that down. Especially when she gets something like that Last Whisper, that will even break through the armor that he does have. That will just start hurting so much. And I want to go back to the point where you said, yes, Tristana has that static shift. Never mind,
I'm gonna have to stop you there. The ultimate comes down to Matt. He does get out, but they do get her up to camp, and they do force Syndra away because she knows she can't stay into that tower. So now mid priority is theirs. They start to get a little bit of vision around the red jungle, but it is being swept out by Lucio. Just need to be careful.
The point I just want to start making is, yes, he has the static shift, and at the worst possible moment for Alpha, she can just still charge it up, use a basic attack, and poke them down consistently with that static shift from a very large range. As soon as she gets something like, maybe, I don't know. I don't think what she could go, because this will just probably be a dead silent if he doesn't. Oh, wait, oh, well, never mind then.
I think they're being very safe, but they know that Kennan's on the side lane. They know that they just got a tower. They don't need to rush anything. But Rassen takes a lot of damage. The leap into doesn't work. Oh, and the flash does not work. Gets trapped into the cascade. But Noah is legendary. They completely forget about him. He's 11-1-1 on this Tristana. He is taking over this game completely, and I don't know what to say. It was looking hopeful for that Cataclysm. I really like the catch out, but Noah just comes around the side and says, no, we win this fight, and they do. As Packer, slicing Maelstrom, slices through Lucio. He is just eviscerated as Noah leaps in, gets himself 2 more kills. Now 13-1-1.
That might be a dead Archie. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
I don't think this game is winnable anymore by OG. The only thing that can save them at this point is if Team Alpha starts to make some serious misplays, and not one, like they need to make 5 or 6 in a row because the amount of gold that they are ahead is nearing the 12 to 13k, which is pretty much a full build Tristana, at least like 3 or 4 crit items that she can have. Of course, this is also due to the kleptomancy that we can see on the cannon. However, they are so far ahead. Even in items, if you just look at the items that they have, Tristana has the 3 item mark where Lucian only has 1 and boots. If you look at the mid, we know that the set has just 2 items finished. If you look at top, it's also 2 items finished. All lanes on the opposing side have 1 or more item advantage. Even the bot lane, the Morgana is 063.
Lucio used the back shield. Very, very lucky to get out there. I'm actually going to look to maybe go in and pack it. They throw the flag, but they're not going to drag.
Oh, great.
Good binding, but there's no one there to really follow up. They're just going to let that happen.
No damage from Ralston. That was his ultimate, and it hit almost every shot, and it was nothing. And this is the problem that they have. They don't have the damage to contest. They cannot even fight whatever they are trying to do. And if Paka would have had the slicing maelstrom right there, he has his flash available. He could just have flashed. There were 3 people that were there. He would have been stunned because the Morgana back shield was down, and that would have just been an easy engage for Pineapple and Noah to take that free and actually finish this off.
There is an engage coming in, unstoppable onslaught, tries to connect, but it's not going to happen. Noah sitting on the side of his fight. Lucio flashing in, but the Cataclysm is dodged out by Noah. He's staying alive in this fight, and Paka now slicing Maelstrom is slicing for the enemy team, but Noah's there to secure some kills for himself. He wants the triple kill. He's going to get it. I would call Penta, but I think that Sion's very, 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 very far away from this fight. I don't see that one happening.
At this point, I don't think they need to Baron to finish this. We see that James is pushing on the bot side, which means that they are playing the 4-1 comp, which is very easy to do for them. They are so far ahead that I don't even think that Koas can stop James. And even if he tries to, like we see now, he can just dash away, go to the mid, and try to put some pressure there. Oh?
Tonk, 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 tonk. That is that's a very tanky Sion. Even with only a Sunfire kick, the amount of health he has is just so hard to deal with. But James gonna try and Yomo's his way out of that. He is getting chased down, but the binding connects onto a Baron minion, and Matt misses the flag and drag. James very lucky to get out there, but he gets it with his life, and that is so important, making sure that all 5 members have the Baron buff. But Paka, he maybe gets a little bit cut out. One thing to keep in mind though, this Syndra has been stuck behind the lane this whole game. She hasn't got a single full item. Not a single full item, but 22 minutes in, nearly 23 minutes in, and not a single full item is in her inventory.
You can see that she's trying to work to the Luden's Echo. She has Lost Chapter, she has a Blasting One. However, I do think that this might not have been the right play because she is mixing items at this point. I think it might have been a lot better advantage for the Syndra to actually finish at Hourglass before going to the Luden's Echo. Yes, you might lose a little bit of pressure, however it gives you that extra survivability of continuously having an Hourglass up during skirmishes, and not only that, it makes it that you have a full item finish, which gives some base extra stats of itself, instead of
they could look for a dive though. Oh, the knock up onto the slicing Maelstrom. That's gonna be it. Lucio just gets... He's like a wet paper towel in that fight. He's just gone. That's gonna be it. They just forced that dive so hard. Noah's jumping in, and realistically, he probably should have died there, but it doesn't matter because he's so far ahead. He's 17-1-2. He's looking to finish the game on that storyline. He's gonna start laying down turrets. He wants this kill though, but I don't know if he wants to dive. Oh my god. Where did he go? Where did that Lucian go? He just disappeared.
That was just bullying. That has to be on the edge of cyberbullying right there. That was way too much.
Oh, the Cascadism knocks her free. It might not be it just yet, but there goes the leap out. Noah, oh, look how little damage this Syndra has. Noah's just happy tanking up a full unleashed power. They're going to take down Lucio. That's a double kill for this. 19-1-4 Noah finishes this game, and they're not done. They want this kill for themselves as the ace comes down. I think that is that. I'm pretty sure that's it. That's going to be GG. Well played from the side of Team Alpha. They just dominate, and I mean, there are many players that performed well, but it's hard not to take your eyes off Noah.
I mean, you have to look at the silver linings here, right? The silver lining is that they do not have the shortest game time. I think that's the only silver lining I can actually see right here, and that I actually think that the bot side played well, and this might be a weird saying, but I think actually they played well trying to go with their advantages, go with what they were given, and try to make the play. However, this is why you saw the skill difference between Noah and Russen and Archie and Lucio. Yes, Lucio is a platinum like Archie. However, the team comp of the opponent had the damage, and that's the problem. They just missed all the damage. Look at this damage graph. This is 24 minutes. This is 24k from the Tristana. That's more damage than almost the Syndra, the Lucian, and the Jarvan combined. Actually, no, that is more than those three combined. So that is just painful. And then the cannon, 19k damage, that easily fits the Morgana and the Scion. So then they were still around, let's say that's 13, that's still 28k behind in the total damage graphs. And that is just hurting them so much.
And for a second, that first Jarvan gank, I was so proud. I was thinking, okay, here's the start of bot lane focus, shutting down Noah. But then, as we talked about, as the levels went on, as Tristana got the jump available, as Alistair had all of his CC available, it became a lot harder to make those plays, and all of a sudden they could turn on you. They weren't really expecting those big ability boosts, and they take a full advantage of that bot lane. They get themselves a lead, and it just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs, and there was no redeeming factor on any side of the map for OG, and that was the issue, is that usually if you're losing a lane, you can put the priority somewhere else and it's fine, and you can kind of weather the storm a little bit. The problem is, there was nowhere to put your priority because every single lane was losing. You had Sion itemizing AP in a match where, honestly, I would have argued get tabbies, because those auto attacks do a lot, and also against the other team. You had a mid laner who was stuck in a very, very, very tough matchup, and they said Rome's get a few kills, and all of a sudden Quetzal can't do anything. Matt tries to do a lot of ganks. I like the proactivity, but the problem is it just wouldn't work against the other team composition, and that bot lane got crushed. And that's really the story of the game. It was an insanely, insanely big match for the side of Team Alpha.
And again,
I'll let you speak.
No, okay. Again, this is why I think that OG has screwed up a little bit. They should have just gone full 80 armor tank Sion instead of going for the AP. Yes, the AP might work for the laning phase. However, that, as I said, for the Mercury threads were a trap against the Cannon and the Jax. And I still think that Jarvan might have been not the correct pick. I could see why they would go for it and how it would work with that team. It's especially good when you are even and you can get that Syndra AoE stun inside the area. However, this is why I think they would have needed more damage, because if you look at the graphs, the Jarvan, I think the Jarvan knew that he would go tank. So that means you have 2 tanks, 1 support, and 2 damage dealers. As if those damage dealers get behind, you will lose the game, because it's very hard for them to get back up and get back ahead. And this is why I think that something that would do damage in the jungle might maybe have worked a little bit more. Something like the Pantheon, maybe something like even an Evelynn, something that can just keep someone out of fight. Like if they would have just been able to charm Noah and get him charmed, that would have been such a difference, because then Goas could have been able to go through. The Dark Biting would have been more easy to hit for Lucio, and even Pantheon. Pantheon is such a good early game damager and such a good early game skirmisher that he can even rival Jax. So if Jax invaded, you can just stun him, walk out, and walk towards Goas, who could help you maybe in that little fight. And that's why I think that's the only thing I can say against this. As we said before, that they had a little bit less damage, but overall, I think it was a very good effort by the side of OG.
Yeah, that's going to be it for the first game. But do not leave your seats. Don't touch your keyboard, because coming up next is what I would consider to be the match of the week. We have Lao Gan Ma taking on Glorious Gaming, a top of the table matchup casted by the one and the only Viper and CJ. Those two, great casting duo. It's going to be a fantastic game. Don't go anywhere. You do not want to miss it.
Not of what you are. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the SQ1 League Championship. I am, of course, Will Viper Whittingham. I am joined by CJ. I don't know your first and last names, but are they with a C and a J?
My middle name is with a J. My first name is with a C, so that's close enough. I'll take CJ. How are you doing, friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm pumped for this game. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm pumped for this game.
Yeah, this game is going to be pretty huge, and of course, we are going to be watching the second game of our 3-game night. Well, 2 games, and then there's SQ1 after hours later on. But we are watching LGM versus GG, the massive top of the table matchup. LGM, of course, sitting at the number 2 spot, joint with a couple of other teams, it must be said. But GG sitting proud at the top of the table, having only dropped 1 series this season so far, and it's going to be on LGM to try and make it 2 losses. CJ, I'm so hyped about this one. This is like the biggest game so far in the tournament, unless you're counting Prototype Korean Rejects last week. But
I mean, that was a hefty matchup for sure, but I think you're right. This is probably the one that we have all been waiting for so far. These are not teams without flaws, but they are so few and far between. It's hard to really remember them. These guys are doing so well so far in this league, and I think that's going to be really interesting to see how the players match up. They both have shown us so many different things. I think it's important to note that they're not tied to one style. Pretty much everybody in every lane has got 3, 4, 5 champions that they've played to a high standard in this league so far. So pick ban is going to be very interesting to see where they go with that. Who's got a must ban, like maybe Sojin's Vlad, or maybe a Kai'Sa from the ADC role, maybe Mechanics takes his Vayne away. I don't know. There's going to be so much things that could happen. There's so many ways that this match could go, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting to see. We are just waiting a couple of minutes just to get into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that should be known is that LGM is playing with a bit of a... LGM is a bit known for playing with a bit of a mixed roster, moving people around, seeing what's going on. We're going to be seeing Artemis going mid this game for LGM, and we're going to see Joan Cleaver, a staple from the LGM of the qualification days. They'll be coming in at supporting for Rorsted, and then It Is Over as well. I think that's a name change. It will be playing in the jungle. And Sujin, the staple in the top lane. Sujin's the only one who's always there, always representing.
Sujin is the rock in that top lane. We can always rely on him. We always know he's going to be roughly there, apart from that one time he went support. But apart from that, he's always in the top lane, doing damage, having big effects. And like you say, their roster has been pretty tumultuous over the past few weeks. Artemis, you said he's now in mid, bounced up there from support, having bounced down there from ADC. Hopefully he's able to find a bit more of a footing in this lane. So far, it seems that they have. They did beat Royal Reapers and SDS last week, both very worthy opponents. Royal Reapers just behind them on the standings there, and SDS threatening from a little further down. So they definitely... This seems to be something that is working a little better for them. Before, I remember casting my last LGS game was against their defeat to Free Krugs, which was an absolute... state of a game. It was a sight to behold, and they had the Grandmaster jungler Karthus, who has been somewhat clapped by a silver player and is now no longer on the roster. I wonder if those two things are linked. And so they've got in now Tsuyu in this jungler, or It Is Over, and he is performing very well. So we are going to get into pick bans just now. We'll have to see how that goes. If we look over to the side of GG, their roster has been a lot more consistent. They've been one of the most consistent teams, of course, in the team in general. And they have some very interesting matchups lane-wise. I think ADC is a particularly prevalent one, since that Rorsted is another Grandmaster player. LGM just seems to be having these spilling out of every orifice. And he is going to go up against Artisan Killer, who is Plat 4 currently. So this could be a pressure point that LGM can exert on. Though, of course, as I said earlier, we did see how the Grandmaster players tend to match up against lower ranked players, so who knows, it could be all up in the air.
It could be anywhere going forward. And we are, of course, into Picks Bans later. We've seen Silas being banned, first ban over by LGM, and then Kai'Sa being banned out on the side of GG, with the Lucian ban coming through as well. Kai'Sa, it must be said that Rorsted, as Grandmaster player, over 100 games on Kai'Sa this season. I don't think I've played 100 games of League of Legends this season, let alone 100 games on the same champion, but she is going to be banned away. Lucian, very popular, very good champion. Saw a couple of nerfs, so maybe not as good as he was before with those mana nerfs and the cooldown nerfs on his W. He's being banned away from Artisan Killer, who likes to play a bit of Lucian. Graves, maybe a bit of a weird one. You don't see too much of Graves nowadays, but it is over. Does enjoy a bit of Graves in the jungle. So obviously research has been done with Vladimir and John for being banned away. What do you make of these bans, CJ?
So I think that all of GG's bans are incredibly well justified. As you say, Sojin's Vlad taken away, that's a pretty obvious one. That's probably about the only must ban that I would have thought of. And then Kai'Sa is very good to take that away from mechanics. He said he's played so many games on this champion. Kai'Sa, despite repeated kind of nerfs and tweaks here and there since her release, has always been pretty steadily in the meta just by her tools and the way she scales so well and the multiple build paths, etc. So definitely a very good takeaway there. I do like the fact that LGM took away the Lucian from Artisan Killer. GG have been favoring this Lucian Braum bot lane a lot. They've been playing an awful lot of Braum. I think it was 3 games of Braum, 3 games of Lucian over the last 4 games. So taking that away really just neutralizes that combo. And then the Jarvan and Sylas are slightly more interesting. Jarvan, it's quite a strong jungler here, but similar playstyle to a lot of things. You can easily just pivot to the Xin Zhao, for instance, would do a similar job. So maybe just doesn't want to see that one in particular. And then Sylas is a more interesting ban, but we've seen Perrin have some very impressive Sylas performances recently. So I do like that pick, and it is something that's very hard to deal with. It's very difficult to you have to remember, which ult is he going to steal, which one does he have, which one does he allowed to take because of the timer. What do I have to deal with? Is he going to grab, the Sejuani ult if they pick that one, or the Sivir ult? It's just hard to work around. So I like that taken away, keeps a bit more consistent in that mid lane, especially since Artemis might be a little fresher to maining this role in the competitive environment.
Yeah, and the Sylas, of course, we have seen in 9.4, which is where we are. We're playing on live. 9.4 Sylas has seen a couple of little buffs, quite small ones, but you are seeing him get a little bit stronger over on this side. So Sivir first pick, that is big because Rawstead hasn't got 100+ games on Sivir, but does have 90 games on Sivir this season. So that's the other one. It's 110 games on Kai'Sa, and then 90 games on Sivir, and then his next one's like 10 games on something. So this is his big other pick, and they want to get that immediately as their first pick. Jace has been very strong, was one of those top laners who was very able to abuse Conqueror before it got hotfixed. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes for Electrocute or goes for the now slightly nerfed or reworked Conqueror on that Jace. Alistair, of course, fantastic pick. Sejuani is one bringing that. GG are bringing that big meaty front line and that big meaty engage coming forward. Olaf and Fresh. Fresh has seen a couple of nerfs recently, but I do know that Joan Cleaver really enjoys this champion, most played champion in season 9, where we are right now. So it's going for comfort, even though it might be a little weaker. And we're going to see Yorick banned away because Sujin, he likes a bit of Yorick.
He does. He's a big fan. He's a big fan. Vlad and Yorick, I think, are his most prevalent champions. It's interesting, actually, to see that LGM banned LeBlanc, because Artemis played this in his last game, and they did actually pull out a win there. I mean, it was against a Korean reject, so it's maybe not as it's not like we didn't expect it. But obviously, LeBlanc can be a very impactful champion. Doesn't have a lot of bad matchups in that mid lane. Can really be used to push advantages. So Perrin does have it in his match history as well, so maybe that's why they want to just take it away. Artemis clearly has something else up his sleeve, and that is going to be matched by a Kassadin ban on the other side and a Vayne ban to finish that one off. So Vayne, not quite as common now at this stage. Vayne was a champion in the early weeks of this league that we would just see everywhere in every game pick ban, but now we have a little bit more variety after the crit item changes. We could see something like a Caitlyn coming in to fill the spot of that Lucian that was taken away. And then that's going to be the Tristana. We did see a Tristana last game on stream. Definitely another very strong hyper carry, able to use those crit abilities a lot. However, the Sivir does have that spell shield advantage to kind of mitigate a lot of the explosive shot damage. So we'll have to see how those interact in the lane, and we'll have to see what Sivir spell shields is going to be actually super important going up against an Alistair with that QW combo, and your timing on that spell shield can interrupt that very well. Or do you want to save it for the explosive shot maybe, or the Tristana ult, maybe she's looking to jump over and knock you back. So I think I think Rawstead is going to have to be very much on his toes in this bot lane, and he's going to have to be very judicial on use of that E.
Yeah, it's interesting to see these bans. Of course, Kassadin might not be a usual ban, but it's interesting because Artemis's most played champions this split, this season, I should say, season 9, of Vladimir and Kassadin. So you're able to kind of the problem with flex picks, especially when you've got two players who really like that champion, is that one ban could get rid of two players.
Oh yeah.
And over on the side as well, Arson Killer, his two most played champs this season have been Lucian and Vayne. I mean that his two most played have been banned out as well. But the Tristana, obviously, big hyper carry. The crit iron rework. People are liking Tristana a bit more now than they were before when she was kind of not brilliant. And we're seeing the Kennen coming in to round out that comp over on the side of GG. And of course, we're going to see Corki and Malphite. Malphite is a bit of a weird one. Not too many people have seen it, or even really considered that he exists as a champion.
Are we getting baited here? Is this Malphite sitting in the mid lane right now?
I reckon they're baiting us. I'm gonna ignore
I mean,
it.
if it's against the Jace, it's not terrible because you can stack armor and then you're Malphite, right? So I would actually love that if they did this.
Is this huge brain play coming out from LGM?
The Galaxy level brain potentially coming out, and then Artemis, even if he's not as used to mid lane, you need mechanics to be a mid lane Malphite player. You just build armor and just press the button. So I think they might have big brained it super hard here, and I hope they don't switch it. So the Corki top lane into Kennen is also very interesting. Kennen doesn't get that free bully that he is so used to having, especially if he was against the Malphite, for instance, where he would just kind of get to free reign and auto attack and poke down and then get a CS advantage and just have free reign. That would really not be a good use of Sojin's talents. When I saw the Malphite come in, I was a little disappointed because I thought Sojin is such a good player. Putting him on like a zero mechanics champion like Malphite, I think it's just such a waste. So I really like the fact that they've instead given him the Corki, something that he can match up against this Kennen and actually take the fight to Lizard H. So I'm really looking forward to this lane now.
Yeah, this is huge. This is just explosively large brain coming in from LGM. Artemis has gone for that teleport, and we've seen the Corki take the cleanse in the top lane. So maybe they're going to be going for a bit more of a fluid game plan. Maybe with the Malphite potentially going top if things get rough. But we are living in League of Flex picks.
We are.
So is Malphite the new flex pick? He can go anywhere.
He can support Malphite.
Support
jungle Malphite.
Full AP. Yeah. I saw a guy yesterday in one of my League of Legends games. It was against a full AD team. And it was an Aurelia mid for the enemy team. He hit Rammus and just stomped. So maybe we're going to see the same thing again coming through from LGM picking this Malphite mid into the Jace pick.
I am intrigued.
I'm shook. All I can say is I'm shook by this Malphite mid pick. I love Malphite as a champion. Really fun. Just gets super tanky, and his ultimate is one of the when you talk about hard engaged champions in League of Legends, Malphite is maybe the hardest engaged you can get.
He's literally unstoppable.
Yeah, unstoppable force. And when you've got a Sivir who's going to be speeding you up, you've got the package coming in from Corki when he's got package available. Olaf's not going to be stopped by CC at all, and it's going to be split up by that Sivir. And Fresh is kind of in there too if he can land the hook, get involved, put a box up to stop the enemies getting away. This is just a huge... I don't want to use the term wombo combo, but this could just be a huge wombo combo teamfight comp.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to see it.
If I'm looking at this, the side of GG has pretty much the same thing. The Kennen, Sejuani, Alistair, followed up by the hypercarry Tristana, and then Jace just kind of chilling on the side, probably just getting an advantage and then poking out a little bit to start, maybe trying to assassinate someone on the back. But this is basically, I feel like the team fights in this game are just going to be kind of metaphorically like if you grab two giant meatballs and then just like threw them at each other from opposite sides of a room, and they just smash into each other in the middle, and then someone is going to somehow come out on top while both these people are just pressing all of their buttons and Rs and running at each other as fast as possible, and all these circular big ultimates are going to be overlaid over. Olaf's going to be running in at 10,000 miles an hour, spilled out by Sivir, and then Malphite's going to come in trying to, I guess, get the Jace and the Tristana, but then the Sejuani ult flies back in, and then Kennen ult's overlaid over the whole thing. I think this is going to be... I honestly don't envy you as the play-by-play.
Yeah, this is absolutely going to suck. Like,
these team fights are going to be messy as hell.
It's going to be one of those games where I'm kind of just like, oh, and everyone's dead. Cool. Fine. No one got... It's a question of who's going to be able to use their abilities first, because this is kind of a let me play my champion game.
Yeah.
One team engaged on the other and hits all their CC. If they can then kill in a round, it doesn't matter how much CC you have. As a Kennen, it doesn't matter how much slicing maelstrom you have. If you get hit by just a million tons of CC from a Malphite, into a fresh hook. I think the difference I'm seeing is that the hard CC is over on the side of GG right
For
now.
sure.
They've got the Sejuani, they've got the Kennen, they've got the Alistair. Malphite's the only really, really big boy hard CC. You've got the fresh hook as well, which can CC one person and keep them pinned in. But everything else is kind of soft, slows damage. But if you look at the damage kinds, where that's coming from, I'd have to give it to LGM a little bit. Sivir does so much damage late game. Olaf's this damagey monster who could just run around smacking you, true damaging you, doing whatever he wants, really. And you're going to have Corki as well, who's a damage dealer. Like, plain and simple. He's just a kind of marksman-y, magey kind of man in a plane. He's going to be doing so much damage as well. So it's going to be a case of CC versus damage in this game. And it's just going to be, one big mess of team fighting, I hope. Otherwise, it's going to be really slow skirmishing for the first 40 minutes, which is really dead. But we are in game, ladies and gentlemen, for LGM versus GG. Massive, massive game, this one. Two massive, massive team comps. Is Malphite mid the new meta? Is Corki top the new meta? Team fight versus team fight. Let's get into it as the two teams leave base.
Let's absolutely go. I think that Sojin is going to be, for me, he looks like the pivotal person on this map if I look at all 10 players. Just because he has the capacity to keep this cannon down, he has the cleanse as well to help with that, and his damage is definitely not to be underestimated if we get to that late game, whereas the side of Glorious Gaming really just has Artisan Killer as that main consistent damage source after Kennen's blown his ultimate. But then Corki does actually have the ability, the W and the cleanse, to escape that initial engage and then just start pumping out loads of damage, and it's like mixed heavily on the skew to the AP side as well, so it does give them a really nice split of damage with the Olaf doing AD and true damage, as you said, plus Artemis, depending on how he builds. We'll have to see how much damage he's going to be pumping out. So I think that Lao Gan Ma have the tools to escape and engage as well. If they don't choose to throw their meatball at the enemy and instead try to run it away, I'm not sure where this metaphor went, I kind of lost control of it there, but if they manage to stymie out the initial engage, Thresh, John Cleaver has a lot of tools that he can use to do this. He can get rid of the Alistair engage if he times his play, the Kennen as well to some extent. He can minimize the coverage of that ultimate. So I think that it might even be in LGM's favor to try and bait out a team fight and then just counterattack. Maybe Artemis just save the ult completely, wait for all the stuff to be thrown. Maybe if they try and get on top of Roasted and they're all bunching up, people can often forget that they're in a team fight, and then suddenly they're all bunched together. We're all going to kill the Civ, we've all got to pile on top of it, and then Malphite ult comes in and can ruin that whole thing for them. And it looks like Sojin has in fact gone mid and everything was ruined.
It's kind of just ruined the whole big brain thing, the whole storyline of this game has just been ruined.
Oh
just
dear.
Swapped with Sojin going mid
I'm
and
sad, dude.
top. Yeah, that is what
Dang
we
it.
do, really. I thought I was
Yeah.
so excited, I was so hyped for this Malphite mid, but there is still a Malphite.
There's still a Malphite of some sort, so he's not going to be able to freely stack as much armor, I guess, unless he wants to get even further behind in lane. And then Sojin is going to match up against this Jace, so definitely they both have a lot of opportunities to kill each other early on. Both have very respectable early damage, skewed in the favor of Perrin. He does have like Knight to his favor, and he has gone the Electrocute as well, so nice burst in that lane.
No Conqueror there. The Conqueror is being picked up on the Olaf though, as Samus is going to be chased down by it. It's over landing those axes, getting a bit of a slow. We're going to move down to bot lane where Joan Cleaver might be in high water in the river. Sojin's coming down to help, the Predators following. Joan Cleaver's going to be hit with an ignite, but they are going to escape. First blood goes down off screen as we see Olaf taking the kill there. And we're going to see Sojin slaying Flicker, TJE, lots of letters as Perun is chased down. Going to be forced to flash away, but it's going to be followed by Rawstead who's going to flash. They're going to be told to get back with that, but the hook is going to land. Rawstead is going to pick up the kill. That's free. Very, very quick kills over onto the side of LGM. Olaf picking up one, Corki picking up one, Sivir picking up one. All your carries getting on the board.
It's an excellent start there, really nice rotations, leaving that lane early, Sojin coming over, great use of both those summoners and Olaf picking up that first blood behind the tower, so a lot of summoners burst. They can really capitalize on this again. If they manage to get another setup like this, John Cleaver showing he's able to land these hooks so far, and the level 2 from side of Glorious Gaming is really scary with that Alistair Tristana, but it ends up going so badly against them now that I think Roasted and John Cleaver will actually be able to push the advantage in this lane. They can shove it pretty freely using Sivir. And they don't even have to commit to a fight at this point. They can just say, well, we're ahead in gold now. I'm going to hit my power spike before you, so I'm just going to chill out until I get my first item, and then we'll think about fighting you again. As the Sejuani has moved up towards top lane, and Artemis could be looking a little pressured here.
Yeah, Artemis could be looking in a little bit of danger. He's about half health on this Malphite with passive as well, giving him a little bit more health, but no more points in the corrupting pot left. But we're going to see Samus just deciding to move away from that kind of diving position from behind the towers, moving back into the jungle. One really good thing from the side of LGM, they rotated so quickly, managed to get 3 kills there over against Glorious Gaming, but then didn't really lose out on the farm because the rotations were there as well from Glorious Gaming, so they didn't even lose too much in terms of that. They're just going to be ahead, and they've already got a 1.34k gold lead going forward after in the 5-minute mark. They put themselves in a really great position, and if you can get these damage dealers rolling, if you get this Sivir and this Corki and this Olaf going, then it doesn't matter how much CC you're going to have if they're going to just be able to 2-shot, 3-shot you. You're going to be having bad times. In the top lane, though, we're actually seeing Artemis keep up relatively well in terms of CS going against this Kennen, which you wouldn't necessarily expect. But now that he's around the corrupting pots, the sustain's going to be a little bit off for him. And it's going to be really interesting to see where he goes build-wise, if he goes for that armor, which Malphite obviously loves so much because of his passive and his whole big rock situation, or if he's going to get a bit of MR first to try and deal with the Kennen, rather than focusing on dealing with the Jason, the Tristana, who aren't in his lane initially, but will probably be more threatening and stuff. Threatening in terms of damage going into the late game.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at this bot lane where we saw that Artisan Killer and Alistair stuck around in the bottom lane. Oh, actually, here's a dive here.
Some kind of drive going forward. Artemis is there, and he's going to land the ultimate straight onto Kennen. Lizard Age is going to be able to use that slicing maelstrom to chase down on Artemis. Artemis is going to be going very low. If Q's not going to land, the mean is in the way. Lizard is not going to be able to pick up that one. He's going to go down, trying to pick up the kill onto Artemis. The Olaf was there for the assistance, and got the assist, which is the most important thing. But Lizard, so close. If that minion had not been there to save Artemis's life, that would have been a trade. But as it stands, 4 kills to 0 for LGM.
Yeah, so as I was saying before about the bot lane, Tristana and Alistair stuck around after they lost the advantage from that very strong early play from LGM, and they kind of got a CS lead there. But then after Roasted and John Cleaver came back to lane with the items, they were able to zone the GG bot lane off so much CS, they ended up just taking a disadvantage anyway. So it ends up not working out for them, and I think they just kind of lost the opportunity to get a good back and have ended up decidedly down. Tristana has managed to pick up that BF sword though, so if they manage to find a good all-in, they can still absolutely turn this one around. And looks like people getting a little scrappy there, stealing away jungle camps, but nothing will be taken away just yet. Olaf wants to posture a bit more though.
He's going pretty low, trying to trade with Sojin in the mid lane. He's going to be taken down to less than 100 health, but he is going to die off screen as we see Joan Cleaver going very low.
There it is.
Another thing killer goes forward. Samus is also going to be picked up by that big one going forward from Corki, and now Roasted is going to try and get some revenge. It's not going to matter though. He's going to not be able to get revenge for his fallen comrade, as we see 1-for-1 trades going down across the map, but that does still leave a 5-kill lead going over onto the side of LGM.
That is exactly what I said, that the bot lane from GG could pull off when they get that engaged. The Alistair Tristana combo is so strong, don't even need ultimates, they just do so much burst damage, exposure shot.
Coming in onto Lizard. I don't know if the little hamster's going to be able to escape. He's going to be trying to get away using that slicing maelstrom to try and get stuns up. He is going to be able to stun up Artemis, who is going to look to get the kill anyway. It's over going quite low. Artemis is not going to try and follow up. Doesn't look like he has ultimate available to get that kill. It's on a very close cooldown. But the hamster will manage to escape using those stuns to get away, as the rest of the GG lineup look to try and grab themselves an Ocean Drake, get themselves on the board first in terms of global objectives.
Yeah, the roster, the GG roster, does have a very consistent record of being able to hold on to gold leads once they get them. 3 out of the last 4 games there are wins. Once they get a gold lead over about 1k, they will not relinquish it and they will carry it all the way to a victory. But in the one game that they lost, which was against Royal Reapers, they were holding up a pretty even game for so long, and then one single mistake just let the game snowball out of their favor. So in a position like this, where LGM have picked up a really nice early advantage, and it's over 3k before 9 minutes, is really good position for LGM to be in. We have to wonder
the top lane, the ult's gonna miss.
Close one.
I saw the package on the Corki and I saw
Yeah.
the Malphite having ult and I was like, it's gotta happen. But then Artemis misses the ultimate, so the Corki decides to just go back mid.
Artemis is getting both of his hands held by his jungler and his mid laner now in this. Admittedly, it's a very bad matchup. It's a good place to put pressure, and they have managed to keep him in this one. He's got that CS lead, and Lizard is having to run away so much. He has got good vision, though, to his credit, and it's doing him a lot of service after dying to that first gank, because he is just seeing endless instances of ganks here. He's got to really be afraid of that when he's not able to push the advantage in this winning lane, which is really going to hurt them coming to team fights if he's going to be behind and he doesn't quite have the damage to push through those wins. We'll have to see how that affects them going into this mid game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see where this Catalyst of the Protector goes on this Malphite. Obviously,
I would
I
assume
imagine it's
it's
probably going
Mars.
towards a
Good
defense
guess.
item. But it's going to be Roa, as we see the fight coming in for, as Alistair's going to be taking very, very low. He's going to be flayed backwards. He's going to be able to try and land that stun. He's going to not land the pulverize. He's going to use the headbutt to try and get away, flashing as well.
Ooh.
Being minion blocked quite hard. Joan Cleaver's looking for something hook-wise, but there is a minion wave there standing in front of their friends. All little Brahms trying to save their support, and the support is going to manage to get out. Flick is going to escape. I'm just saying support and Alistair, because your name's got so many letters in it. That
Yeah,
just shouldn't be next to each other, and there's a number in there as well. As we see the bot lane, nothing happens, as Olaf is going to be denied by minions, essentially.
That is really nice awareness by Flick, to be fair. Getting the headbutt onto Olaf. Olaf actually inadvertently saving his life by giving him a headbutt target to get him away from the rest of LGM's bot lane, then he can flash away. So very nice awareness of him, but Olaf doesn't want to let him get away for free.
Yeah, Olaf's going to be going in for the dive, and Flick might not be able to escape so easily this time. He's not, it's over. He's going to get that kill that he deserved before. The minion's not there to save you this time. As Joan Cleaver's going to go very low. Arsenal Killer's going to go for the flash to get the kill, but he won't trade his life as Perrin comes forward. It is over. It's over the wall, though, so it's not going to matter. He's not going to go down. We see a killer piece traded once again. No, 2 kills to 1 traded. LGM once again coming out on top. That is 6 kills to the advantage. That is almost a 5k goal. The 4.5 go forward as Artemis goes forward. On to Lizard, just ultimate, unstoppable force in top lane. His second kill of the game as we see Sujin going forward. Perrin looks to get the kill, but decides he's not going to go about that as he flashes away. Teleport's coming down from Artemis now, but of course there's no ultimate there as Sujin's going to take a couple of tower shots. Perrin is in a bad position, but Samus is there. Here comes the Alistair flicking up the enemy team.
my word.
The Ignite's going to go down to get the shutdown. Alistair's picking up that one. It's all going down right now. 10 kills to 4 of the headlines, and we see LGM coming out on top, but not as much as they probably would have wanted.
This fight went on so long that Flick died and respawned and came back and secured that kill onto Sojin there. I was wanting to talk about Sojin. He's just been quietly destroying this game. He's 5-1 and 2 now. He's got his Sork Shoes and his Triforce completed. Ooh, hook's not quite gonna land there. But he's been doing so well, and he's been roaming so much, especially down to this bot lane. We saw him pressure up to top lane as well. He's getting the CS advantage over Perrin on this Jace, and then taking it to other lanes. And he's securing kills, diving behind towers, doing whatever he needs to do. He is going to be such a monster. I think that it's basically just going to be him pumping out damage in fights. Olaf is going to be able to commit something as well, just by his nature, but they're going to have to be so scared on the side of GG of this Corki coming to fights, and they really need to be playing around him. If they're going to focus anyone, it's going to have to be him while his summoners are down. Maybe here comes a 3-man dive.
It goes for the headbutt. He's going to be denied by the hook. But Joan Cleaver, no amount of boxes are going to save you there. Your soul is gone. It's going to be Artisan Killer picking up that one. That is his first kill of the game. We're talking about Corki being a threat, but what about this 3-1-0 Tristana, who's got a reasonable amount of farm, not as much as Sid here, but Tristana is so rough in the late game and definitely going to be a factor as we see Liz and Artemis going at each other. I don't think there's going to be enough to really start a fight if Artemis doesn't have the ultimate there. But yeah, that's just a clean dive. Joan Cleaver probably didn't need to be under that tower, and they're going to pay for it with their life.
That is true that Arslan Killer can be a massive threat if they manage to chain the CC together, which they absolutely have the potential to do. If they start catching someone out, maybe if Sojin gets a bit too big for his boots, he doesn't have his summoners up, or they go for some risky engages, they could have it turned around on their head massively by the resets offered by Tristana. And we are going to have an Infernal Dragon is live now, and they definitely don't want to give this one up. They're already at disadvantage. It would be massively detrimental to them to give this one up, and we'll have to see if they choose to commit to it. Tristana's still in base though, so they don't want to take this one yet. I think they will absolutely have a big fight around this one. Artemis's TP is down, though so is Kennan's, so we won't be able to see probably the two most impactful engage ultimates from both teams, which will leave the advantage firmly in LGM's corner when they have Sojin on this Corki, rolling in and bursting out that damage.
Artemis is doing a reasonable amount. We do see the sad-looking Abyssal Mask rather than the happy-looking Roa. And also, Artemis
hello.
The Maelstrom is going to land in. Artemis is going to have to use that unstoppable force to get away. But the flash has been burnt by Kennen. And Artemis is very, very low and he's staying. That might be great, but it is over. He's going to start the Dragon Dance by simply starting the Dragon. Samus has seen him though. There's no vision, but Samus is there in the big pig as the unstoppable is going to come through. So it's not going to matter how much he's put forward, it's going to matter how much damage he can put forward. Samus is going to go very low, going down. The Dragon picks off that one, but it's going to be given over to Corki. Sujin is going to be able to get there, and now it's over is the one on the Dragon. Perrin is going to go very low. He's going to go down, but Joe Cleaver might trade his life for it. Arson Killer is also going to go down. We do see the Dragon going down to it is over. While all that happened, so LGM are the ones who are going to get the Infernal Dragon, and they're going to be the ones getting the lion's share of the kills, getting 3 kills and only losing Joe Cleaver for that one. Very, very nice play, starting that Dragon and then being able to fight, as Lizard might be looking for Artemis, but isn't going to actually do anything. But very, very nice play from LGM.
I really like the idea that LGM had there where they were using the Rift Herald to draw focus into that mid lane while they started up the Dragon. Unfortunately, they didn't have everyone hitting it from the beginning, so the timing was slightly off. Perrin was still able to clear that Herald out and then turn to come to this Dragon fight, but they played it so well. They abused the fact that Corki can get over that wall so easily, and the Lantern from John Cleaver coming up huge, getting people out of danger there. So I think they just played the actual fight, the 4v4, exceedingly well, and we saw Sojin dishing out so much damage. Arslan Killer tried to come in on the side, but got kept up by John Cleaver, flaying him back a little bit, and they were just too split up from the side of GG to really force through any kills. They managed to land them CC, they didn't have any damage, and their only damage is Artisan Killer right now, and he's only got 1 item completed. It's not even that impressive yet. So they're really going to have to start stalling out. Oh, here comes a flash in, not going to land.
You think that the flash hook might land, but Flick was quick on the flash as well, managing to avoid that one. Both supports trading their flashes to get away from what could have been a dicey situation for GG. I'm just going to have a quick look over the whole farming situation. You can see that there's big differences. LGM, Sujin, and Rorsted really dominating in terms of farm. Both of them having a 20+ gold farm lead over their late opponents, and both of them having very, very good scores as well. The amount of gold that these guys have, you've got the rapid fire cannon and Trinity Force over on this Corki. The Essence Reaver is being rushed by the Sivir. Hasn't got as much secondary, but is definitely looking for it versus the IE and just the Yumus on the Jace. It's really Sujin, as you said before, he's going to be doing so much damage, he's going to be doing so much work, and it's so hard to itemize against the Corki as well because he does all the damage, he does all the kinds of damage, and he does lots of all of it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Sejuani and the Alistair, these big chunky guys over on the side of GG, manage to stop Corki from ripping through them. As you see Artemis and Lizard maybe trying to go a little bit at each other, but I'm not too confident that any real 1v1 fight is going to go as Flick is caught by the hook. But it's not going to matter because he's Alistair again. Not too much pressure going down on him at the moment.
Yeah, I think Rorsted has been slowly, silently scaling up here. He's coming up to 2 items completed on this Sivir. He's 2-0-6, respectable farm. He is going to be a dark horse in these fights, and I don't think they're going to be able to do much about him because they've got to devote everything to getting rid of Sojin still at this point, who has both Flash and Cleanse up. Plus, oh, here, they're going for him now.
The Lantern is just going to negate anything. No one really wanted to use their big abilities first because of that spell shield, but it meant that no big abilities were used. So Lantern just gets them out, but a team fight is brewing in the river as Sujin comes in. Sam's going to be forced to flash over, but he flashes straight into an Olaf who's waiting for him, but it's going to use the Arctic Assault to get away. It is over, going to take the Lantern to safety. That's going to be a heart attack territory when you jump over that wall and you just see an angry man with axes standing on the other side.
Yeah, that was a very stressful situation for Samus there. Good flash away from him though, keep himself alive. He got kind of pincered in there. Another really smart rotation coming from Sojin, coming down exactly when he's needed. And now they're going to look to maybe push another dive through, or maybe just take this tower down. It is only 3v3. They probably should not commit to any dives here. And I don't think that Olaf is doing himself any favor staying around. Sojin is in fact going to go up to the top lane, where Lizard and Artemis having a very serene kind of farm off. We'll have to see if they break that one open now.
I think there's going to be a fight here. Artemis goes into getting out double force, but it's not going to do any damage. The Zonius is going to go down. Artemis is going to have to back away from the tower aggro, but Sujin is going to be able to spare his blood for his kill. I'm going to not following. Joe Cleaver just gets melted, immediately going down. Samus is going to be picking up the kill, but it was Artemis, Killer, and Perrin who are doing all the damage there. Samus is going to try and look to walk away, but Perrin is going to turn up and run forward saying, if you want to fight my jungler, you're going to have to go 3v first. And it is over. Does not like his chances of that one. We're going to see kills going over 1 apiece, top and bot. And it's going to be Artemis trying to push forward to get that big tower in the top lane and to try and grab the second one of the game, as we already saw the first tower going down mid for LGM.
I think we definitely know what's going to get clipped and posted all over Trash Talk thread this week. It's going to be Artemis's ultimate there. That was a bit unfortunate. Luckily, Sojin there with the damage to back up through the stopwatch, able to finish that one off as we saw. But then if we come down to that bot lane fight that we saw, John Cleaver has 5 of his team's 7 deaths. They really just love killing this guy because he's the only one that doesn't really have an easy way to stop it if they commit fully onto him. The Flay can only really do so much, and they don't really lose that much every time he dies because Rorsted stays alive and he just keeps farming and buying items, and he's just going to become Sivir late game, so he's pretty cool with it. And you know, even if John has 20 deaths, he still has Q, so he's always going to be important. And with the rest of the team doing so well, he doesn't need to be like any kind of off-tank role or any sort of crazy thing like that. So I think that it's good that GG are finding kills, but they're not able to find any shutdowns, importantly. And they need to get some shutdowns to get this gold back in their favor, because it is over 5k against them now, as another dragon gets picked up by LGM, and they're still pressuring. There's a TP by Malphite.
For the bot lane, Arsen Killer going to look to escape. The Unstopped Force is actually going to land this time. Arsen Killer going very, very low. He might be going down. LGM seems to be going to pick up that one. Flicker is going to go low, and we're going to see Joan Cleaver having to get his Olaf to safety. It's going to be a double kill for Sojin as he picks up a second kill of the fight. It's going to be Lizard taking the front of that one, but then Perrin jumping in to grab his own kill, shutting down. It is over. Samus is going to go down as well. It is over for him as well. Triple kill for Sojin as he looks to maybe go for a quarter. Parent is there. Sojin is pretty much full health. He's about 3 quarters. He's not going to look for it too much. I was hoping that he'd go for the quarter, but triple kill for the Corki is very exciting for him, as we're going to see LGM with the initiative managing to push down that tower, and they're going to go for another one to get themselves an even bigger goal.
We saw Artemis redeeming himself there, lands that ultimate onto Tristana. That's exactly who he needs to get it on. Lost the summoners for Tristana in that engage. Sojin still able to follow up and get the first of those 3 kills. Got himself 1,000 gold bounty, 11 kills, 1 death and 3 assists. This guy is ramping towards his 3rd item very quickly. Huge crits already coming out. Look at this damage! Oh my goodness, Artisan Killer has to run back to base after that one, and he is just too scared, as I am, of this Corki, because he is just 1v9ing right now. Or more like 1v5ing, I guess, because his team is definitely a factor in this game, but he is just a superstar so far.
And he's just doing damage all over the board. Like, one auto Samus there doing a decent chunk, considering this SQ1 he is full tank. Junkies are managing to show that he can hit another hook onto that Rift Tower. It doesn't sound that impressive, but when you play it in the games that I do, you'll see a lot of those hooks not landing onto Rift Tower.
Wide, yeah.
It's just the saddest thing where it's like, oh, I missed the Rift Tower jukes you, and you just they throw all your CC at it. And it's
Alt F4.
Yeah, just uninstall, just go home.
Pretty much so.
The Sims, thanks very much. Isn't for me.
Exactly.
I'm so excited for this Corki pick. Sojin is playing so well, and as you said, it's not really a 1v5, it is a 1v... Well, not a 1v9, it is a 1v5, because the rest of the team's doing pretty well. If we ignore some of Artemis's ultimates, and if we kind of ignore the death
John Cleaver's
score, his team is doing very well. And even as a support, like, John Cleaver's going in to get these 1v4 traits and stuff like that. He's flashing forward, putting himself in bad situations. As you see again, but doesn't manage to catch Flick anyway. And Flick isn't really the target you want to catch anyway with these hooks, so a bit of an interesting decision, because it's an Alistair who's just going to be able to get rid of the CC.
Just really wants to step up and be making the plays like the rest of his team is, and couldn't get that one. Gets this one though, but the package
down as well for the slow. Flicker is going to be taking damage. Going to have to be forced to hold away. Lizard is actually not going down though. The team fight doesn't matter to Sojin, and we're going to see the Alistair dragged in once again. John Cleaver, the hooks are on point. Rorsted is on a rampage picking up that one. Good guy Fresh handing over the kill. And now LGM, they're looking towards Baron, and another hook lands to bring them all in.
I think John Cleaver heard us there. I was like, oh, I can't hit this Alistair. I'm going to hit this Alistair twice. I'm going to get through his ultimate. I'm going to get him again, and we're going to kill him. So there. Now it's a good hook. Here comes another one though. They're going to come over the wall.
Samus as well, but Perrin is going to be the one who's most in trouble. He's going to be taken down by Rorsted. Double kills with Rorsted as he brings down the SQ1. He's going forward. It's an ace. Sojin picking up the last one, and Baron is going to be picked up as well as the 6th member of GG. And LGM have this game by the scruff of the neck, and it's Sojin and Rorsted who is saying, we've got the limelight, let's go.
there's just barely any defenses currently on the side of GG. They just can't really get to that stage where they have the money to buy these items, and Sojin is just ripping through them with all this AP plus the crits he's already built. And I mean, Alistair's got the ultimate, but there's just no backup from his team, so he can stall out for a bit, but there's nothing left. Sejuani's only just finished the Warmogs. There's no resistances yet on this champion besides the Merc Treads. There's no answer to this man in a plane, as you described him earlier. So he is just going to be ripping through this game, and what they need to do, I think, GG, is they need to find a pick. They can't keep taking fights like this. LGM are the aggressors in almost all of the situations, except in bot lane when they were engaging onto specifically John Cleaver. So if they can find engages like that, but onto anybody else who is isolated at any point, that's when they can get the shutdowns and they can start getting back in this game. But the vision is against them, and the gold is against them, the map is against them. They are really going to have to find some sort of miracle chink in the armor here.
I don't want to be the guy to call people out, but Samus, the Warmog's passive only procs at 3k health, and you're currently sitting at 2.7.
Yoinks.
I don't want to be that guy. I've been that guy who's built Warmog's first as well, but maybe you need to get a bit of a Ruby Crystal or someone else to get that passive. Just standing outside the fights being like, why isn't my health regenerating? And you get hit by a hook from Joe Cleaver. I feel like I've been flaming Joe Cleaver this game for all the deaths that he's been occurring, but he's been playing very, very well. Like, Joe, you don't have to prove anything to us. We are lowly casters, and you've been playing exceptionally well with these hooks. It's just a shame that every team fight, the enemies seem to focus you for some reason. I said maybe you're the only one that I can't really get out.
It's the only person they can really kill at this point. It's the only person they can actually get a consistent engage onto, sadly. Positioning so very well. Sojin is knowing when to be in and when to be out pivotally. He's never kind of engaging too far that I can see. Like, he's always kind of going into finish off kills, and he's not going into 1v5s or anything, and that's the kind of situation that GG could capitalize on. But when he's always so far away, just using these...
Sorry about that, I thought a team fight was
So
gonna go down. The other force is gonna come down. Artemis doesn't miss those as he picks up and kills the tower's gonna be his next victim going down. As we see LGM running rampant through the lines of GG. Rawstead is godlike, taking down the Alice of the bot lane from GG, paying the iron price to try and defend that tower. The inhibitor's gonna go down. The Baron is already taken. The second inhibitor's gonna go down bot lane. Lizard is gonna jump in with a slice of health. That's a lot of damage and a lot of CC. And we're gonna see so many people falling there. It's actually only Joe Cleaver, it's over at the moment. Samus is going to go down. Somehow, it's been turned around by LGM, picking up a double kill. Rawstead is the reason that they're going to go on and look like they're going to win this game. Sojin is there guarding. He's going to stop Lizard from getting forward. But it doesn't matter. Lizard's got no flash, no ult. The slicing maelstrom is not going to be there. And at the 26-minute mark, LGM dethroned GG and tied up 7-2, 8-2, somewhere around there. They're both now tied up at the top of the standings, unless something crazy's gone on elsewhere.
That is just premium Sojin there at the end. He does have that flash and the cleanse to get away from what was... It was an amazing engage by Kennen. Let's not diminish that one. He got everybody in that one, and he almost brought it back. Bless his heart, he tried so hard, but Sojin can just cleanse and walk out of it, and then he's on full health, and he 1v5s again. So, I mean, it was a great effort there by Lizard H trying to get back in, and a valiant defense of the base, but there's just nothing they can do against the damage that is being dished out by LGM. They snowballed it way out of control. Nothing that GG could do after the amount of really successful rotations and dives that they pulled on the bottom side. It was the only lane that GG looked like they were comfortable in. Kennen dying to an early gank meant that he couldn't really exert any advantage in that lane. Sojin was just mashing Perrin in the mid lane because he's, oh my god, he's so good. And then the bot lane was the one that they were grabbing these kills on, getting these nice engages. But when you've got an Olaf dive in your tower and a Corki dive in your tower and you're just getting shoved off over and over again, there's just only so much that Artisan Killer and Flick can really do there. So they just couldn't really get out of it, this hole that they were pushed into. And I think that LGM absolutely earned this victory with Corki's total damage. I remember last game on stream, we had Noah, and we were like, wow, he's done 24k damage. Amazing. Corki did 28k damage this game. So, I mean...
the damage shot just...
blown
it's an
out.
absolute joke. What
Yeah,
the
like,
hell?
it's insane, the amount of work that this guy did. And then Rawstead as well. Like I said, he's kind of very much a bit of an unsung hero this game. Even though they were getting engaged on by his Justana, and the Alistair and getting shoved around. And there were attempts made at fights by GG. Never got caught out. Didn't give up any there. Dude went 9-0 and 9 with 279 CS. Like that is a really amazing scoreline for this Sivir. Less than 1,000 behind Sojin, who was really popping off and doing the flashy plays. So I think that it's good that we can definitely kind of honor this guy as well.
Yeah, for sure. And such a dominant victory for LGM. They took the game in that early team fight in the river bot lane, getting those 3 kills, and they just never let up from them. We talk about GG being really, really good at holding on to these gold leads. But when they didn't have the gold lead, there wasn't really much to say. And I think it's very clear to say that at the beginning we said, which is going to win? Are we going to see the damage winning, or are we going to see the CC winning? And as I said, it doesn't matter how much CC you have if you're just going to be killed by Sujin, who then went on to kill everyone in the game repeatedly over and over again. But that is going to call it for that game, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're still looking for some League of Legends action, there is going to be more League of Legends action with the SQ1 League Championship, as we see big rivals, OG versus Prototype, going forward as well. That is going to be over on my channel, actually, twitch.tv/Viperoot. But if you don't want to go there, if you don't want to dirty yourself with these non-official streams, then you can stay right here where we're going to host that one. It's going to be myself casting alongside Sherlock, I believe, which is going to be a very exciting time. So I'm getting rid of CJ. CJ, I'm sorry. I need to. We should just see other casters, I think.
Oh, don't do me like this, dude. At least do it face to face. God dang it.
I only over internet. This has been an online relationship, and that's how it will end. But later on, we're going to take a little break so that I can grab some water and watch some Artemis failed ult compilations.
That's my favorite.
We'll be right back with Prototype versus OG. You should not be going anywhere.